Sarah inherited her grandmother's house after the funeral. The lawyer handed her a single brass key and warned her, "Never open the basement door." His hand trembled when he said it, and his eyes wouldn't meet hers. She took the key, confused but not concerned. It was just an old house with an old story. Every house had its quirks. For 3 months, Sarah lived in the house without incident. She renovated the kitchen, painted the walls, made it her own. The basement door stayed locked, just another feature of the house she barely noticed. She passed it daily on her way to the laundry room, never giving it more than a passing glance. The brass key stayed on her keychain, a heavy reminder of a warning she didn't understand. Then she found the other keys. They were in a velvet box hidden inside the grandfather clock, the one that hadn't worked in decades. The clock had been her grandmother's pride, a family heirloom from some great-aunt in Vermont. Sarah had never looked inside. But on the night she found the box, the clock had started chiming at midnight. 12 deep, resonant tones that vibrated in her chest. She opened the glass door to make it stop, and there it was, a black velvet box, waiting. 7 keys. Each one smaller than the last. They were cold to the touch, impossibly cold, and the smallest was barely visible, a sliver of metal that seemed to vibrate when she held it. She counted them 3 times, then counted again. 8 keys total, including the one the lawyer had given her. That night, Sarah dreamed of the basement. In the dream, she stood at the door with all 8 keys in her hand. The basement door had changed. The wood was older, darker, covered in symbols she couldn't read. Behind the door, something paced. She could hear its footsteps matching her heartbeat, growing faster as her fear grew. She wanted to run, but her feet were planted. The keys grew warm in her hand, then hot, burning. She looked down and saw blood dripping from her palm, but she couldn't open her hand to drop them. She woke up standing in front of the basement door, key in lock, hand on handle. The brass key from the lawyer was already in the first lock, turned halfway. Her hand was on the handle, her muscles tense, ready to pull. She didn't remember walking there. She didn't remember anything after going to bed. For a moment, she felt the urge to complete what she'd started. The door seemed to hum against her palm. Sarah moved out the next morning. She packed what she could carry in her car and drove to a hotel, leaving most of her belongings behind. She left the keys on the kitchen counter, arranged in a neat row, the velvet box beside them. She never spoke to the lawyer again. His office stopped answering her calls. When she drove by weeks later, the sign was gone, the windows dark. 6 months later, the new owners called her. They'd found something in the basement behind a false wall, something the inspection had missed, something no one could have known was there. A room with 8 locks, arranged in a circle on the only door. And in the center of the room, a chair. An old wooden chair with leather straps on the arms and legs. The leather was cracked and stained. The chair had been used recently. There were fresh scratch marks on the arms, deep grooves where someone had fought against the restraints. And beneath the chair, tucked carefully in the center, was a velvet box. Empty now.